Anthony Roberts with us from the Scranton Track and Field Team. He is a sophomore, a distance runner. Anthony, let's first go to cross country. What you enjoy about that season?
This cross country season? It was just our team rallied together and had such a great year throughout. Districts, of course, we didn't come on top, but we had Josh Christensen come through states, and our teams came together and we ran at foundations up in Hershey. It was an awesome experience just to be part of the Scranton team.
You talk to a lot of track and field / cross country kids, and I usually have a favorite between both of them.
Yeah.
For you, do you have one?
Me, I tend to be right in between the two. Track this year, I had a great year in the mile, PRing a bunch of times, but then cross country, I was also able to get down real low in my times. So, me personally, I think I'd say track so far, but we'll see eventually in the future.
Josh is pretty darn talented. You get a
yes,
kid,
he
though,
is.
from District 2, like Tyler Worth. And
Yeah.
What's it like when you see a kid like that and saying, hey, here's a kid who's breaking records, and it's nice to go after that and have a kid on your own team that's pretty talented, too.
Well, it's awesome for me because as a younger runner, Josh does train me a lot, and he's making me much better of a runner. Josh is extremely, I'd say, experienced in what he does, and definitely he's a go-getter, 100% in everything he does.
Let's talk about you being mature as a sophomore. You carry yourself like you have some experience, so talk about where you think that comes from.
I definitely think it comes from my parents and just how they've always taught me. Always be humble and kind, they tell me. Treat everyone how they want to be treated. Speaking, my mom's an English teacher, so I've always had that tough homework life, if I could say.
Well, it's awesome, and she did a great job. A 93 average. You'd like to get into law enforcement down the road.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I think that comes from my grandfather and my father also. My grandfather was a police officer in Scranton, and my dad is also a member of the fire department in Scranton. So, long line of people serving the city in my family.
Couple siblings, Ava and Jack. They're both younger. They're looking up to Big Brother.
Yep.
So, talk about the things you're doing right, but every once in a while, I'm sure you make a little boo-boo, and your folks let you know about it. But you're doing a heck of a job being a good student and a good athlete.
Hopefully, yes. Something like even today, I was with my brother, and I took his bike, and he was yelling at me about it, and it was just so stupid. But all those things, he'll look back, and I'll look back at it. It's just an awesome experience as a kid, and just screwing around with them.
Well, at least you didn't knock your brother's tooth out with a bat like me, and he was older. So accidents happen.
Yeah, they do.
When you look at the future, Anthony, you see yourself running. You see it as a lifelong commitment that you love running that much?
Oh, definitely. I love running. Whenever I get in my head, maybe school is becoming too much or something in my life is going on, I'll always go out for a run, and that just clears my mind off everything. I love it. It's almost like a medicine.
Anthony Roberts, very good words, and we wish you the best going forward.
Thank you.
Maggie Campbell is with us here on the Mendola Show. She's a sophomore from Scranton. Maggie, first thing that stands out, you got a big family.
Yeah.
So somewhere you probably get a little bit of attention in that big family of yours. Take us through all the siblings you have.
I have an older brother, Jacob, who does varsity baseball. He's a senior this year. I have 3 younger sisters, and my oldest younger sister, Grace, she is also into running. So she's in the 6th grade, but she is already doing cross country for school, so she's doing really well in that. My younger sisters, Kate and Ann, they are very active also. And then my little brother Luke is just 9 months old. So
You're looking on the sheet, cheating on the sheet here. You're forgetting all these brothers and sisters. How about you talk about your parents holding it all together with a big family? I'm sure it's a lot of work, and I'm sure you're really appreciative.
yes, yeah, they work very hard for us every day.
Well, family, coaches, parents, you got a lot of support for you.
Yeah.
But you got to do your part, and you are doing your part. You're number 2 in your class academically. Talk about being so dedicated as a student.
Well, my parents and family and coaches and teachers have all been really encouraging with trying to help me do the best that I can do and use what I have to do what I can.
100 average, 4.0, whatever you want to call it. You like math and science. How about for you, being a student athlete in the halls of Scranton? What's it like being at that big school, but knowing that, hey, you know, you're accepted in the athletic community, you're accepted in the academic community, and you know, it's all coming together.
Yeah, it's really nice. There's a very close-knit family at Scranton High, so it's a lot of fun.
Well, Maggie, let's talk about your events. You do cross country, you do indoor track, but 800, 1600, and 3200. We got to talk a little bit of track in this whole conversation. Do you have a favorite event in that?
I really like the 1600 and the 3200. Sometimes it just depends on the day, but I really like those events.
How about a time you're most proud of this year in one of those events?
I'm really happy that I got a new PR in the mile of 5:36 and 12:22 in the 3200, so I'm happy with those times.
All right, well, great to catch up with you, Maggie. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
Kiani Harbin with us here on the John Mendola Show, a junior. You have an ability to finish. You found a way to finish a couple of times at the district championships. Talk about you know, those last 10 meters. Doesn't matter what the event, but it seemed like you have another gear.
It was actually kind of painful because I injured my leg in the beginning of the year, but it's been getting better. But like within like me practicing and continuing on with the meets, it didn't hurt as much, but like it hurt just a little bit.
Let's talk about being able to try to stay healthy all season. It's not easy. You got to take care of your body. So once you knew the injury happened, what did you try to do to make sure you're staying on top of it?
I was stretching, icing, heating, and like just doing that every day.
How about your older brother? He was a fantastic athlete. How about his influence on you? And did he talk to you at all about your track and field season?
Not really this year because like he's been in college and doing his own thing. But like most of the time we do have a conversation and talk about how I should get better and what I need to do to improve myself.
Let's talk about the Harbin rooting section. So you have two younger siblings. Who else is maybe in the stands yelling for you to finish?
My mom and dad and my uncle.
Let's talk about them and how they try to support you and do what they can for you.
My uncle is like one of my biggest supporters. He's always at the track meets when my dad can't come. And my mom, she's just she's just crazy. She did track when she was in high school and in college. So like she's one of the people that got me involved with track.
She's really into it.
Yeah.
How about for you? How into track and field are you? Is something that's really grown on you over the years?
Yeah, I love track. I love it more than basketball, more than anything.
Favorite event? Do you have one?
Yeah. The 200.
200?
Yeah.
You're good in all of them, 100, the 200, the 4x1, 4x4. Usually a lot of sprinters will dread the 4x4. Do you dread it, or you're like, hey, I'm with my teammates and it's only one lap?
Sometimes I do, but most of the time, like at big meets, I take it very seriously and I do what I have to do to get us into like a good position.
Being around your coaches and different people, talk about, you know, some people that you consider to be your role models. Who's pushing you along and who you're looking up to?
I look up to Allison Felix because she's a 3-time world champion in the 200-meter dash, and that's what I want to do when I graduate from college. But Miss Reed and Mr. Powell are always there helping me, pushing me to do better, and so is my brother.
That's something you want to do at that next level, is track and field in college?
Yeah.
Well, Kiana, great to hear your story. We wish you the best at the state championships.
Thank you.
Camden Miller with us here on the John Mendola Show, a sophomore for the Scranton Track and Field Team. Let's talk about sprinting, 400, 4x4, kind of the longer sprint. So you guys still got to have, you know, quickness to you, and it's pretty much a full sprint at that 400. What made you like that? Because you must like a little bit of pain.
Yeah, so in the years previous, I was actually a distance runner. I was like more like 800, 1600, and I kind of just like started fading away from liking that, and I did the 4x4 at the JV districts last season, and I actually ran the fastest leg on the team, and that kind of just like sparked the interest in the 400. So I started training for it this season, and that's what I've been doing this year.
What about your best time in the 400 this year?
It's around like a 56, like mid-high 56.
Pretty respectable.
Yeah.
Talk about where you think you could go with that. Again, just as a 10th grader, what's the goal in the next couple of years?
Trying to build on it, maybe get down into like the lower 50s by the time I'm a senior.
That'd be a nice accomplishment. How about some of the guys on that 4x4 team there at Scranton?
Well, Sam Jones, he's our anchor leg. He's always, when he gets the baton at the end of the race, always threat to move up a lot and have a big finish. And then we also have Bimal Gajmer and Shamir. They're two great. Bimal's our first leg. He's a great starter, and Suki's always really reliable at the third leg.
Cross country, indoor track, couple other things you enjoy. Talk about why.
Especially indoor track. Miss Reed's a great coach. She really helps us build up and work out and make sure we're prepped for the season. Cross country is also a really good way to stay in shape and keep our endurance up for events like the 400, 800.
A couple younger brothers, I'm sure they look up to you. Talk about they involved in sports as well.
No running actually, but they both swim. That's their big thing.
Very cool. History, one of your favorite subjects. Got around a 93 average in school. Talk about your dedication as a student.
Well, history is definitely my favorite subject. That's definitely the thing I've had the most interest in. That and English. Both classes I find pretty easy and challenging at the same time, but definitely things I get pretty quickly. Math and science are more in the background.
Cam, to tell us about your parents and how they're role models for you.
Well, they're both drive me around to everything and make sure I'm ready for everything, and they both push me really hard, and they're my two biggest supporters. So I thank them for that.
Camden, thanks for telling us your story, and go get them in the next couple of years, all right?
Thank you.